What is going on, everyone? I'm enjoying this beautiful day out here. It's not too hot, not too cold. Anyway, wanted to share a story with you. There was somebody I used to work with, and she told me about a group of people who live in the Kentucky, Tennessee area who work about 6 months out of the year, and then they go home for 6 months and they live off what they work. That's it. Whatever they made while they were working, they're going to live off of it for the next 6 months, just like ants. And I find that fascinating. You know what I'm saying? Just fascinating. And I share that with another one of my coworkers, and he said, without thinking, he said, "What does society consider these people?" And I haven't even met them, but I have an idea what they might look like. So I said, "Society considers them to be losers." He said, "Bingo." Here's the thing: wealthy people hate folks like this because they can't manipulate them. They can't get them to buy luxurious items. And it gets me to think, whoever said time is money was spot on, man. He was dead right. Making money kills our time, man. It kills our time that we could be doing something else. And when you're working too many hours, you're wasting your life away. And these folks, they work to live. The rest of us in society are working towards living up to an ideal to make other folks look at us and go, "Oh, he's doing okay." We're so dependent on what other people think, so we spend money on nice houses, luxurious items, nice cars, nice clothes, vacations, so we could post it on our Instagram and say, "Hey, we've been there. We've done that." Meanwhile, these folks, they work like ants. They work hard, 6 months out of the year. Next 6 months, they're back in where they live. Might be a trailer, might be a small home, might be a cabin in the woods. Who knows? It's not fancy, but it's life, and it's 6 months out of the year that you don't have to worry about getting up early or going to bed early, or even, buying things. Like, here's the problem: like, a lot of folks buy stuff because they're stressed out. They're stressed out from work. And it's a weird cycle, man. Think about this. You go to work so that you can pay for the house that you live in order to go to work. And you buy a car in order to go to work, but you got to go to work to pay for the car that you bought to go to work. You know what I'm saying? It's just strange. So, I'm not saying you shouldn't work, but instead of spending money on luxurious items, shouldn't we consider putting more money into our 401k so we can retire early, so we can have more time? Should we maybe buckle down? And if you're a couple, maybe one of you save up to buy a house cash while the other one saves up to, or just uses his money for everyday living, everyday expenses. There's so much we can do with our money. Americans make good money. I know folks are talking about minimum wage rises and cost of living, but compared to the rest of the world, Americans make pretty good cash. Compared to even other first world countries or developed countries like Spain. Spain, you make a decent living compared to the rest of the world, but it doesn't compare to the money that we make here. It's very interesting. Now, of course, the lifestyle in Spain is a little different, and some may argue that they might live better lives there, but we're talking about money. We're not talking about standards of living. You know what I'm saying? But, even compared to England or France, they make pretty good money compared to the rest of the world, but we make more than them. And what do we do with this money? You know what I'm saying? And there was a study that showed that if the rest of the world consumed like Americans, we would need 5 planet Earths to fulfill that consumption rate, compared to another developed country like Germany, which would only need 2 planet Earths. Now, it's still concerning. You need 2 planets to fulfill that consumption rate, but 5. Man, what are we doing, man? What are we wasting our money on? You know what I'm saying? Why aren't folks saving up, buying their dream house cash, not have to worry about interest payment? You know what I'm saying? And then what do? Well, maybe you can save up during your whole time and invest more money in retirement, invest more money in more land, or even save up for years to pay your kids college. You know what I'm saying? But man, I feel like we as Americans, we're on the freeway driving 120 miles an hour. That's what we feel like when it comes to money, because we're making good money and spending a lot of it. We're just spending most of it. You know what I'm saying? And not only that, we're spending money we don't even have to live this luxurious life, to please other folks, to not please other folks, for other folks to think that we're living a good life. What are we doing? What are we doing, man? So that really encouraged me. Again, I'm not going to take 6 months out of the year, at least not now. You know what I'm saying? But it makes you think. Why spend money on items that I don't need? The best thing you could buy is your time. You need money for food. You need money to pay rent or pay your living, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? You don't need all these fancy things. You don't need fancy entertainment. A lot of this stuff, like I said, there was this Canadian man who took about a year off. He was an engineer, and he noticed that he didn't spend as much when he was out and about traveling, even though he had the money to, because he wasn't as stressed out. He wasn't as, oh my gosh, I'm so tired, I need to buy things. And I think that's where my weakness lies. Like, I have no problem going to a coffee shop and buying something small, but it adds up. But that's sort of my relief, So anyway, that's it. Bye-bye.